Hey everyone, and welcome back to another lesson in the Max Rebo Music Theory course,
Hit it, Max.
for which Max Rebo will have little to no involvement. In the last lesson, we learned about the keyboard, our tool for visualizing pitches. If you haven't seen that video yet, I'm going to put that link in the top right corner and also in the description down below, because all of the material we're going to talk about today will make a lot more sense if you understand the tool we're using first. So when we organize pitches in music, we place them in specific locations on what we call a staff, but not the kind of staff that you're used to in Star Wars. Instead, a staff in music is a set of typically 5 lines that run horizontally. Why 5? Well, that's the amount that our brain and eyes can quickly disseminate without having to look closely to see if we're on the 3rd or 4th line, for example. Note heads, like the ones I've shown here, can be placed on one of these lines, or they can be placed in the spaces in between the line. We simply refer to these as lines and spaces. And note placement in relation to pitch works exactly as you would expect it to. As the note head is placed on a higher liner space, the pitch goes up, which is right on the keyboard. And as the note head is placed on a lower liner space, the pitch goes down, which is left on the keyboard. So now we want to actually start assigning those letter names that we learned before to each line or space in the staff. Before we can do this though, we have to add a special symbol to our staff called a clef. In music, we have many of these clefs that can attach to the beginning of a staff. Each one references a specific pitch range. For now, I'm just going to focus on our 2 most common clefs, the treble clef and the bass clef. And as these names suggest, the treble clef is for higher pitches.
It's over, Anakin! I have the high ground!
While the bass clef is for lower pitches.
You underestimate my power!
Let's start with the treble clef for the higher pitches. While the treble clef looks like a character from some species in the unknown regions of the Star Wars galaxy, it actually is simply a very fancy G. And sometimes the treble clef is also referred to as the G clef as well for this reason. Now, if we focus in on where the swirl of this G is centered, we can see that it's actually highlighting the 2nd line on the staff. And that, uncoincidentally, is the note G. I'll get more into what octave G this is and how we label that in a later video. For now, just remember that the 2nd line on this staff, when in treble clef, is the note G. Okay, so now if we go down a step to the space right below the line, that is F. Continuing down to the next line would then give us E. And if you're wondering if we can keep going down from there, well...
A good question. For another time.
Now if you remember from our last video, going up from G restarts the alphabet at A. So if I move up to the space right above this G, I would call that space A. If I continue to step up to the 3rd line, I would call this B. The next space would be C, the line D, space E, and the top line would then be F. And that is how the treble clef works. Some people try to simply remember the names of every line or every space by using acronyms such as Every Good Boy Does Fine for the lines, or simply the word face for the spaces. And usually, I've found that this creates more to learn instead of less. But since this is Star Wars music analysis, here are my suggestions. Engineered Grievous became devastatingly fearsome. And force abilities can exist.
It's okay, you're safe now. I won't let anything happen to you.
The Force is so strong with you.
Yeah, I know.
This takes practice to learn intuitively, but this is how we name the notes in the treble clef. Now let's look at the bass clef, where we're going to see our lower range of notes. While more difficult to see, the bass clef, like the treble clef, is based off of a letter. In this case, the bass clef is based off of the letter F, thus also being referred to as the F clef sometimes. And just like with the treble clef, the bass clef is highlighting a specific line. In this case, it's the fourth line that's surrounded by these two dots. And yes, the note assigned to that fourth line is F. And from here, the same process occurs. If we go up from the fourth line, we move to the space, which is G, and then the top line, which is A. If we move down from F, the next space is E, the middle line is D, then C on a space, B on the second line, A on the lowest space, and back to G on the lowest line. And again, people have created acronyms for these lines and spaces such as good boys do fine always, and all cows eat grass. But again, since this is Star Wars music analysis, here are my suggestions. Grogu begs Din for adventure.
No. All right, but this is the last time. Yes. Yes, what? Yes. 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 Yes.
And Alderaan can't escape gruesomeness.
I have chosen to test this station's destructive power on your home planet of Alderaan. You may fire when ready.
What?
You're far too trusty.
Commence primary ignition.
So those are our two clefs in how to read their notes on the staff. It's important to have a good grounding for note naming because we will come back to this a lot as we discuss intervals and chords and how different notes can be put together to create special sounds in music. Once we master naming the notes, we're ready to start talking a little more about music. And I encourage you to practice this on your own as well so you can translate the music that you see. My next video will deal with ledger lines and the grand staff. But let me know for now if you have any questions about the notes in the treble or the bass clefs so far. And as always, may the be with you.